So hey everybody, this is the Active Retiree channel and I'm Perry.
And I'm Vicki.
And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We've got about 10 or so videos on the channel and we want to take a moment to actually introduce you to us as a couple. Vicki and I have been married for 41 years and so we're going to answer a few questions about us and about how we got into retirement, and we hope this will allow you to get to know us a little bit better. Okay, so the first question is, looking back at our 41 years, what was the most non-work thing that actually kept us grounded?
I would say that we have a lot in common. We have a lot in common when it comes to how we're raising our kids
Right.
and how we have looked at overall life and our finances and our
Right.
budgeting is
Right.
very important. And they always say sometimes money always causes a problem in a relationship. And honestly, we have never had a lot of money issues in our relationship.
Right. Never
During
had a
this,
lot of money. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, we didn't have a lot of money either, especially when we started out.
Right. So I guess for me, it would have to be traveling, perhaps. Vicki and I have traveled a lot, and we both love to travel. When we were married, we lived married. When we were younger in the Air Force, we lived about 3 or 4 different places within the U.S. Then we moved to Germany, and we lived there for 4 years and visited like 20 different countries. And then when we came back, we did some work for a while. We retired, and now we bought an RV, and now we're traveling all around the U.S. in the RV. So I really like that. That's help us stay grounded and connected as a couple.
And we are going to be in the RV in about 4 weeks. So
Right.
you'll be seeing videos from a different atmosphere than our home.
That's true. That's true. We're going to take a 17 stop RV adventure here in about a month out to the East Coast and so forth. And as a part of that, you'll get to see lots of different cool stuff if you stick with us. So the second question, what was the hardest dual role we had to play during our careers? So what would you say to that, Vic?
I think it was while Perry was getting his education. You know, we all know that takes a lot of dedication and hard work. And when you're a young married couple and your husband's going to school all night long and working full time in the Air Force, it takes a lot of work. But Perry always told me, hang in there, hang in there.
Right.
It's going to pay off someday. I promise. You know, I know it's a lot of work and I know you're by yourself a lot of time, taking care of the kids, but it is going to pay off and it has for us.
Yeah, I would say something similar. So for me, I went to school for about 6 or 7 years in our early marriage, getting a master's degree in the end. But along the way, I had to work a 10-hour, 9-hour a day job within the Air Force. And then when I'd get off, I'd either have to study for several hours, go off to the library to gather some info, because back in those days, there wasn't computers sitting around all over the place. But also then some nights, 2, 3, 4 nights a week, I'd have to go to school. I remember the very worst part when we lived in Germany is when I got my master's. And so I would actually, something like this, about every other weekend, I would have to get up on Saturday morning and drive for 2, 2.5 hours, go to school for 6 or 7 hours, drive 2 and 2.5 hours home, babysit the kids while Vicki went to work at night, then get up the next morning and drive back and drive back. And that was a lot. So both when we were in New Mexico and when we were in Germany, I mean, it required us to both to sacrifice a lot. And I ended up working, I don't even know, 15 hours a day, numerous days a week in order to pull all of that off.
And
So
one thing I want to say too, a lot of people said, well, why don't you get a hotel? Why don't you spend the night
mm,
there? Well, we couldn't afford hotel
true,
rooms for Perry to stay up there. So it was cheaper for him to drive the couple hours to school and back home. And that's just to make it work. And we kept
right.
saying it's going to pay off. And he
Plus, we
was,
needed somebody to watch the kids too,
yeah,
right?
plus we need
So,
someone to watch the kids. So,
yeah. Okay, so the third question that we have here is what did we sacrifice for the career that we're now reclaiming? So, what would you say to that, Vic?
um, I would say that just spending a lot of time together and to be able to do really nice things with our kids and go on vacations and do different items. And something I did research like recently that said, it's not all about saving your money for your children and giving them your money when you retire
Right,
as a gift or anything. I mean, it is a blessing to do that. But also think about taking your money and doing vacations with your kids, enjoying doing things with
right,
them now while you're here, than just worry about like leaving them a big sum of money.
right. Okay, I would say for me, it is the togetherness time with, well, there's our little dog Ginger. I would say for me, it's about the togetherness time with Vicky. Uh, when we did those things, going to school, and honestly, for I don't know, 3 years or so, I even worked two jobs in order to bring more money in and to prepare myself for when I was retiring from the Air Force. But now, Vicki and I get to spend a lot of good time together. And so I love that we're being able to do that and get in our RV and travel all around the US. It's a blast. So, one
Yes.
last thing I wanted to ask Vicki, what about our family? Tell the folks about our kids and so forth.
We have four kids. We have two boys and a girl. Our son is the oldest, and he works really hard, and he actually got a PhD in college. So we're really proud of him. Then we have a daughter that's married, and she has children. She has a son and two daughters. And then we also have our nephew slash son. His name is Dylan. He came to live with us when he was 12 years old.
Right.
My sister, Perry's sister, had some difficulties, so he joined our family and just blended right in. And he has one daughter. And then we also have, yes, one daughter. And then we have a daughter, and she actually lives not far from us. She's about an hour from us, but everyone else does live out of state. So,
Right.
and when we take this RV trip, we are going to get to visit Dylan, his daughter, and our sister and Perry's sister and sister in law,
That's
mine.
right. That's right. Okay. Well, we just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about us for a minute and let you guys get to know us a little bit. If you have other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and we'll do our best to respond to all of them. And we always do, so I'm sure we will. But okay, so I'm Perry,
And I'm Vicki.
and this is the Active Retiree channel. We'll hope you'll join us. Bye.
Bye.